My oldest student, I think she was 80 years old. But I never doubted that aerial yoga would stay.
Hello, everybody. Hi, guys. Today, in my eco studio, Jost Blomeyer. Please welcome everybody. Hello, Jost.
Hello, Lana. Very nice that you have me in your interview.
So, I will introduce you shortly. Jost Blomeyer is the founder of Aerial Yoga in Berlin, Germany, and he is one of the most experienced trainers in Europe. He is featured on many TV channels here in Germany and in Europe. And Jost, you have technical and dancing background, pretty similar like mine. Am I right?
Yes, yeah. So after school, I first had a dance training and a musical training, some singing, acting, and mainly dancing, ballet. And I danced at Metropole Theater in Berlin in musicals like West Side Story and Hello Dolly. And then I decided that the dancing career is quite short, and I studied architecture actually. And after my diploma, somehow I went back to teaching because I suffered from back pain while I was a student. And that's when I started teaching aerobics. And then later I discovered yoga and realized how helpful that is also, or at least for my back pain, it was very helpful. And then at some point I gradually shifted more and more into teaching, and then only teaching yoga and then aerial yoga and the aerial yoga teacher trainings. Technical background, I think, helped me to have an approach which is evidence-based, scientifically based, and I'm not so in the esoteric world, but more in the, give your body and your mind a good training which is based on science. Yeah, but I'm not a fan of speculation and just believing in things.
Then my next question. You are often called one of Europe's most experienced aerial yoga trainers and have been featured on ARD, RTL, CDF, and more. What was the moment you realized you'd pioneer this movement?
When I learned it in 2009, there were only like a handful of people in Europe who started teaching it. And it was just called the best new fitness trend by an American journal, by a magazine. And I noticed, because I have my dancing background and fitness trainer background and aerobics, and I noticed how wonderful this training is because it's so versatile. You can stretch, you can do zero compression inversions by hanging suspended on your pelvis upside down. You can massage yourself with the hammock. You can do a very good strength training. You can relax in the hammock. It's so versatile. And I never doubted that aerial yoga would be there for good and stay. Because there's sometimes fitness trends which disappear again. Like there were those boots you would jump in with. In the 80s, I think there was a kangaroo jumps or whatever they were called, and that trend it was gone like after half a year. I never heard of it again. But I never doubted that aerial yoga would stay. But it took a couple of years that it became more popular, and since TV stations approached me and all the major ones in Germany, I was quite sure must be pioneering something, and it's visually very catching to watch aerial yoga, and that's why I had the chance to promote it on TV and in newspaper articles.
True, it's really capturing. Yeah, then come in and fly out. This is the motto, right? For your
Yes.
yeah. But I guess it's more than a slogan. It evokes transformation.
Yes.
Can you unpack that phrase and what it means, both physically and mentally?
Yes. Well, of course, you will develop your physical skills. But apart from that, the first biggest challenge for everybody who comes to class for the first time is to face the fear of hanging inverted, upside down, suspended on your pelvis. And everybody is at least a little bit scary and wondering, oh, is this going to work? Am I going to slip out of the hammock? And you have to overcome that fear. And once you've done that and you learn to relax while you're in the suspended inversion posture, that takes about like 2 classes, 3 classes, and then people really start to enjoy being there suspended. Then you realize you can trust your body and you can overcome challenges and you can grow, and not only physically but also mentally. And on the other hand, when I say come in and fly out, when you swing with a aerial yoga hammock, it really sometimes feels like flying. And just this week there was a young man, he came to class for the second time, and he told me after the first class he felt, in German the word is beseelt, so which means inspirited. It really gave him this light feeling after class, and lots of people tell me it does something with you. Also, it's a training for your brain to be inverted, upside down, and still trying to orient yourself in space. And your brain has to learn that and to deal with that. So something is happening there as well. Your visual system, your brain is adapting to that new training. And I have older guy, he's about 70 years old. He's a sailor. And he told me that since he did aerial yoga, he's been coming to class now for some years, his balance on the boat is much better. Wow. Yeah? So it really helps you to orient in space, to feel your body in space, to ground yourself.
I can confirm from my end as well. Because the transformation also started at that point, and our group also was very international and age diverse, and with different, I would say, level of physical and mental fit, as average group, of course, that you train, that you coach. I can confirm from my side, and perhaps from that moment after graduating your course, a big transformation also started for me.
Nice.
And yeah, it's true. I think there is no coincidence at all in this space. And in years, that I became self-employed, completely on my own, I guess it's also give really the pledge to that transformation that we are speaking right now. It's appeared for me, like a physical and mental booster. So as you said, even 70 years old, wow.
Yes.
It's unbelievable.
My oldest student, I think she was 80 years old.
Incredible.
Yes.
Your teacher training draw over 350 practitioners from around. It's unbelievable result. So applause. What are the core principles you insist every new aerial yoga instructor or masters?
I want them to really put safety first. Because when someone comes to class, he will be, as I said, or she will be a bit scared of doing inversions. And when you're scared, your brain doesn't work very well, because your limbic system, where the emotions are processed, is more active, which means your prefrontal cortex, which does understanding and analytical thinking, is a little bit suppressed. It's like a one side goes up, the other one side goes down. So when your limbic system, your emotions are aroused, yeah, everybody knows that when you're in a fight with someone, you can't argue logically, yeah, because you're all in your emotions and you can't think well. I instruct for future aerial yoga trainers that they should give the newcomers always a safe feeling by watching them closely. Maybe when you do an inversion, demonstrating it first, bringing the newcomers in the front where you can see them and they can see you well. And people who've been there for class for a longer time, they're more in the back. Go into postures step by step, and you watch closely that the newcomers, especially, are doing the steps precise and well, and that you tell them, oh no, stop, go back, try again. So you want them to learn right away how it works, functions good. Give them the feeling that they're being watched and that you help them. And I always give verbal cues, and only if someone is like too confused, doesn't know where's my arm, where's my leg. Sometimes that happens. People are just overwhelmed. Then I go to them directly and I assist them with physical hand-on assists. This is really what I try to teach my upcoming aerial yoga trainers, that they, when it's coming to postures which are potentially dangerous, someone could slip out, you do them really slowly, you support those people. Maybe you tell them, well, when you go down in groups, that person first, that one, so they feel it's safe. Because it doesn't make sense to freak out, because then they don't understand what they're doing, and then maybe mistakes might happen. You don't want that. Yeah, you don't want anyone to slip out, and you want people to enjoy the class. And that's also what I try to teach them. I'm trying to crack jokes and help people to enjoy the class and to laugh a lot, because then we learn better. When we laugh, the brain cells, they connect better. Dopamine is released, and then you will learn better. You will remember better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I truly enjoyed your course, and the overall atmosphere was so harmonious, so productive, so friendly, and so effective at the end.
Nice. Thank you.
My next question to you. Your practice has been featured across media, TV, magazines, podcasts. How do you balance being a visible public figure, influencer, and teacher with maintaining depth in your own training, in your own practice?
I actually don't mind being visible, because, as I said, I was trained in dancing and I was on stage. And actually, I think it helps to teach when you're entertaining. So I regard myself a little bit like an entertainer as well. Well, for me, when I'm teaching, that's also my practice. Because I'm in the moment, I'm in the here and now, I'm focused on my students. I do the exercises together with my students. So I'm practicing there. I'm mindful. I have to be throughout the whole class, because I have to watch the people. For me, teaching is a mindfulness practice.
I heard you became vegan recently.
Yes.
What was your motivation and decisive factor, and how it's impacted, improved your practice?
Yeah. I was given a book by a friend about whole food plant-based diet, which is, according to evidence, scientific evidence, the healthiest diet you can follow. And the word vegan is misleading, since you can have French fries and a Coke, which is totally vegan, but of course it's crap, we know that. It's refined oil. Potatoes don't have fiber, or a lot of fiber, very little. There's sugar in the Coke, no nutrients, or no, not a lot. And so that's crap. We don't want to eat that stuff. It's vegan. So what you want is a whole food plant-based diet. So lots of grains and legumes and fruits. And since I've been doing that now for 2 years, and already after 6 weeks, my blood pressure went down and my cholesterol went down, and I lost 6 kilos of body weight. And I was curious, and I went to my doctor after 6 weeks to have a blood test. And then he actually inquired me, "Are you taking anything?" And he meant prescription drugs to lower my cholesterol or my blood pressure. And I said only, "Yes, I'm taking plants." That was all. Yeah. And he couldn't believe it, because it was so significant. And just after 6 weeks, and I was very strict following that diet. And since then, I've followed it, and I gained more strength. Everything is lighter when I do my exercises. It feels much easier for me to do. Of course, even when you lose body weight and you don't lose muscles, you just lose fat, or mostly fat, then everything becomes easier. That makes total sense. And I feel better. So I recommend very strongly to look into this whole food plant-based diet, and check it out, what it can do for you.
So true. Me also, I'm science-based, and yeah, also comparing, checking, and I found, yeah, a lot of benefits of that. And also, yeah, a lot of researchers, people may find today, they are available, and more to come. I turned vegan many years ago, and since that moment I also experienced everything is so lighter, everything is so naturally smoother. Everything became so easier. Endurance, robustness, everything, stretching, everything is easy. Inversions, of course, neurology, yeah, everything. Let's dive to the digitalization era. My question to you, in today's digital age, how are you adapting your teachings? Online classes, maybe YouTube demos, other AI tools. What's next for aerial yoga tuning in remote?
I'm not a fan of teaching online, because I think you don't learn as well when you do an online training. And that's also what I read. There have been some studies about remote training, online training. And one of the problems is our brain learns very well and remembers stuff when it can connect with different things we know, and when we use lots of different sensory channels. So we can touch something, we can experience it, and we also maybe have a connection to someone who's talking to us. And it's very different to looking at a screen. And especially physical training, when you want to be an aerial yoga teacher, in my teacher trainings, my students are teaching each other, and either one-on-one or in small groups, as you know. Yeah. And you can't do that in front of a computer. You can't do that. So that's why I'm not a fan of online training, and so that's why I don't like it. Even though I think it's nice for information, So that's why I have my YouTube channel, so people can see what's possible. What can you do with this nice tool, with this aerial yoga hammock? And then they see, oh, you can swing with it. Oh, you can do inversions. Oh, you can massage yourself using that hammock, like the black roll, the foam rubber, the rolls to massage yourself with a hammock. And you can do strength training. And they can watch that and understand the possibilities of aerial yoga.
So, looking forward, where do you see aerial yoga headed in the next 5 or 10 years in terms of technology, wellness, integration, communities, or hybrid formats?
There's one idea. I'm not sure if any one of my students, maybe, or someone else, has ever followed that. But the idea came up again and again, also in the trainings. People are sometimes afraid to hang upside down. And actually, I had one woman in my teacher training who had an accident. She fell off her window on the first floor or second floor, off her window outside her house. And she was really scared, of course, now to do inversions and to hang suspended from the pelvis. And she came to the teacher training, and step by step, she would try and challenge herself and face that fear. And I remember after one day, she would be lying in the hammock crying, but those were tears of joy. She was so happy that she had overcome that. She had kind of healed herself.
Yeah, trauma healing.
And yeah, trauma therapy. And so I think this really could work. Yeah, because there's quite a lot of people out there with anxiety problems, and you could use that hammock. I got one here, yeah, to work on that. Face your fear, face your challenge step by step, overcome your fears, and maybe do a course, a workshop format for people to develop that strength to face their fears.
Ending our interview to wrap up our wonderful conversation, my question for you, what Jost is dreaming of, or what you wish for yourself and for the world in further?
Actually, since I noticed how great the results were for myself in my life by exercising, and now recently by changing my diet, going to a whole food plant-based diet, I feel so much better. And sometimes I think I go on people's nerves because I have to tell them about that. And, not everybody is open and wants to change. Some people are lazy, they don't want to move, or they don't want to think about changing their diet. They're just used to their habits. And but I wish I could reach more people and help them make some positive changes. Yeah, so they feel better and they're healthier.
Absolutely. I'm fully aligned with that. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Jost Blomeyer in Master Series 2025. Follow us and stay tuned. The resources you will find in description. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Lana.